there there's always going to be your top tier contenders in the NHL. There's going to be your rebuilders, and then there's that mushy middle that I talk about. And the mushy middle is very often a tricky place to be. As a general manager, your job is to give your team the best chance to win night in and night out. And you'll very often have an owner who may have a little bit of attention deficit disorder when it comes to building a winner. They want the winner now, not later, now, which is why coaches and GMs tend to have a short shelf life in comparison to players. The New York Rangers have apparently decided that they're ready to tear things down, which is risky because they're not out of the playoffs. They're not in a great position right now, but they're not out. They're not a team that you look at and say they're rebuilding. The part that I find interesting is, so you have Henrik Lundqvist, who's in his mid-30s. How's he going to feel about this? So apparently Michael Grabner, David Desharnais, Nick Holden, Rick Nash, Ryan McDonough, Matt Zuccarello. These are all names that are being brought up. Any of them could go. And for what? And that's where it's tricky. Because, yes, these guys could get dealt, and I wouldn't think all of them will go. But half of them could. The thing that I find interesting is I think Nick Holden's probably been on the market for a while. I don't think there's a big demand for Holden. Nash, I would imagine, is much the same. Now, Nash, scoring a bunch of goals in the last couple of weeks, is going to help raise his value. Look at Max Pacioretty in Montreal. His value is going to be raised right now. Where I think it's interesting is if they're going to look for young guys and prospects back, well, what kind of prospects are you looking for? You're looking for like Elias Anderson style prospect. Like that's the Rangers' bread and butter right now, is that prospect and what Anderson could mean to the team. Are they looking for that style or that level of prospect from another team? Are they looking for a 1A? Or are they looking for instance, like when Vancouver traded out Burrows last year at the deadline, they got Jonathan Dahlen back. Now, Dahlen may project to be a top 9 forward, but we don't know if he's going to be top 6. We definitely don't know if he's going to be first line. But at the very least, he should be probably a third line forward. Are the Rangers going to be looking for prospects of that ilk, or are they going to be looking for draft picks back? And are there Ranger fans who are going to look at this situation and say, hey, I thought we were ready to win now? And I know there's going to be Rangers fans who are going to comment in this video and say, we understand that it's going to take time. But there's going to be fans that don't. There are going to be fans that say, hey, we can win now. We can get to the top now. There's no reason we can't. I think the interesting thing, as I said, is that you've got, and there's good prospects on the horizon for the Rangers if you're a fan of goaltending, because there's 3 or 4 guys who could be legitimate NHL goalies. Adam Huska is the one I'm watching and have been watching for over a year. He's the one that I think could be a diamond in the rough for them and could really either end up being a really high trade value player or just end up being a really solid goalie at the NHL level. They may end up with a few of them. But during this transition period, this would likely mean they're throwing in the towel for this year. That's the thing that's interesting to me. Is this a signal that the New York Rangers are saying, well, let's just throw in the towel for this year. We're not going to make the playoffs. We're going to build for next year. So really, it's a bold move by Jeff Gorton. And if he has ownership backing him on this, it's the right move. My issue with the Rangers, and there's other teams that are in this situation, they're a good team. They're a good team. But over a 7-game series, can you see them beating a Stanley Cup champion? My answer with the Rangers is probably not. Can I see them standing up against a 2013 Blackhawks or last year's Penguins? No, probably not. So are they likely a Cup winner this year? Probably not. So the idea that you're building towards being a champion later, it is risky. And it's risky because even while you're in the mushy middle and you send out pieces to get something back, you may make your team worse for years to come. The one bonus is the cap's going to go up. Nash will come off the books. Other players are coming off the books. The Rangers are not, for the first time in a very long time that I can think of, they're not They don't have to be the top spending team in the league. They're not necessarily at the cap on July 1st. And they may be able to have some wiggle room to pick up a pretty substantial player as a free agent. And maybe this retool is perfect for them. It's the right move. I'm just glad that Jeff Gorton sees that this is what has to be done. But again, how's Henrik Lundqvist going to feel? Because if this means that his dream of winning a Stanley Cup kind of goes out the window, does he... I don't think he's ever a guy that would demand a trade, but does he quietly go to GM Jeff Gorton and say, you know, I'd like to win a Stanley Cup before I retire. If we're doing a retool here and things are going to change, maybe you should throw my name into the mix, and maybe I can go to a team that's contending and just needs a goalie to get over the top. And again, I only say that just to throw that out there as potential, because Henrik Lundqvist wants a Stanley Cup ring. And he's got a very limited amount of time left to do it. So is that coming down the pike? Is that going to happen? Or is Henrik Lundqvist going to look at the situation and say, well, they're doing a quick retool. I may never win a championship, but I bleed blue, and I'm a New York Ranger until I retire. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hey, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And remember, I do have a concert to go to tonight, and then we'll get into the power rankings after that. But I do have a concert tonight that I'm going to, and I'll do a review of the concert as well on my other channel. So, thanks for all your support. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And again, let me know what you guys think. How risky is this? How smart is this? I think it's the right move, but I'd be interested to know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.